Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good evening. Selamat petang semua. So for today, I will explain about initiative and project related to obtaining digital library subject. I will discuss few components, a bit on their evolutions, next digital library, the current development, and then example. However, for history and evolutions, I don't want to discuss in detail because you need to explore and read several information to understand or to expand your knowledge, especially on the evolution of this topic. Okay. Evolutions of digital libraries have from several disciplines, leading to multiple conceptions of digital libraries, each one influenced by the perspective of primary discipline. That's why if you still remember from our previous class, on the topics of definitions of digital library, there are several definitions which came from different science, different study. In information and communication technology, they define digital library differently from digital library definition that came from informations or librarianships. So totally different definition. The same goes to history or evolutions of the field, as being highlighted in this statement. Dia refer digital library ini sebagai a concepts of a database, a concepts of collection in digital form. And several disciplines, they have their own definitions and their own concept about what is digital library, and each one influenced the perspective of the discipline and perspective of the community. Contohnya dalam masyarakat umum, masyarakat kebanyakan or public, they refer internet itself as a digital library. The internet itself, web as a digital library. Why? Because they use they apply the philosophy of electronic information. For them, internet is the electronic information, which refer, dia kata di sini, ia adalah digital library itself. In certain field, for example, in engineering, architecture, mereka merujuk online databases itself is the digital library. But as we discussed in our last week class, digital library, they're more than that. They're more than electronic database, they're more than internet, websites, or digital information. Three of digital libraries, therefore, is the history of variety of different types of information system and technologies that have been considered as digital libraries or their antecedents. So di sini dinyatakan sejarah berkenaan dengan digital library ataupun evolutionnya adalah berbeza depending on the types of information system and the technology that they apply to store, to distribute or disseminate, and to preserve your digital information. So dia ada melibatkan tiga perkara di situ. Untuk simpanan, untuk menyebarkan ataupun menyampaikan maklumat, and number three, for preservation. So all these three activities or these three component, ya, dia considered. Ya. So di sini antecedent bermaksud dia punya apa ni faktor-faktor ataupun dia punya susul galur dia, aktiviti semua dalam tu dirujuk sebagai digital libraries. Ya. But dia perceptions dia ada apa bercanggah. Ada yang merujuk digital library ni as the content itself, the digital content. Ya, the file, the digital content adalah library. Ya, adalah digital library. Ada yang merujuk kepada databases, ada yang merujuk kepada the system, ya, the computer system or the information system. Okay. Heterogeneous system. This system and technologies are very heterogeneous in their objective, scopes and functionalities. Okay, by the way, apa dia or what is heterogeneous? Anybody? What is heterogeneous?
Ini ke macam tak terkira ke?
Tak terkira. Kira. Ada yang lain?
Macam-macam bentuk.
Macam-macam bentuk. Okay. Heterogeneous mean dia wide varieties. Dia varieties lah. Varies. Very, banyak. Okay. Opposite to heterogeneous is homogeneous. Yeah, homogeneous. Human being is a homogeneous. Dia Homo sapien. We call this as Homo sapien, which mean dalam spesies yang sama. But opposite to Homo sapiens or homogeneous is heterogeneous, which mean digital library di sini dinyatakan dia ada pelbagai. Ya, pelbagai apa? Wide varieties of system and varies in terms of the technology itself. They can have different objective, different scope and different function as well. Yeah? So kita rujuk di sini sebagai heterogeneous. Dia very complex. Yeah? Alright. Digital library evolution does not follow a single path. Why? Because of heterogeneous system just now. So each of heterogeneous concept, as I mentioned just now, they have different evolutions and several history. Jadi kita tak menyatakan dianya sama. Sejarah tu boleh bermula ataupun evolution started from the example digital content. Machine being used to develop digital library. Or it can be the digital library skill. So dia datang berbeza-beza. That's why we call this as heterogeneous. Okay, and to discuss further about our topic today, about the evolution, let's go through one by one, the components that normally exist, in digital library initiative. Okay, pertamanya kita ada electronic resources. Electronic resources. What is electronic resources? Anybody?
It's familiar with digital resources?
Yes, information. Information in digital or in electronic form. Information in electronic or digital form. So konsep ini, topik ini, dia ada sejarah dia, perkembangan dia sendiri. I don't want to discuss this in depth. You boleh baca dan dapatkan. And then number 2, hyperlink and developments of World Wide Web. I believe you familiar and what is World Wide Web. Two different stories. And it started earlier, in early 1960s, 60s if I'm not mistaken. Okay, next, developments of web browser. Developments of web browser. you're familiar with Google, with Chrome, with Safari, Firefox, but previously kita ada apa je, IEEE, kita ada Netscape, ya, dan banyak lagi ya. So itu pun dia ada their own path, historical path. And then next, internet technology and its services. Yeah, internet technology and its services. All right. Now, what is services provided by internet? Yeah, apa dia services that you can find from internet?
A search engine, maybe, sir?
Yes, search engine.
Information retrieval.
Yes, information retrieval engines. Information retrieval can be considered as search engine. Yeah? What else? Apa dia? Services that you can access from internet.
Conferencing.
Yes, yeah, video and audio, yeah. Video and audio lagi apa?
Communication service.
Communication service such as?
Kalau nak apa ni, guna like email ke?
Ya, saya tunggu you punya jawapan email tu. Email is part of internet services. Ada lagi yang lain? OPEC. OPEC boleh. But yang itu bukan primary. That one very specific. Very specific to certain service. Tetapi umumnya yang tadi, we use internet for communications. For social media communication such as email, such as apa lagi, Facebook, social media that link you with your clicks. Kemudian kita ada e-commerce, kita ada apa lagi, government information services, geographical information services, and banyak lagi. Okay, so yang ini pun dia ada sejarah dia sendiri. Okay, next. Institutional repositories. Institutional repositories. Okay, what is institutional repositories? Anybody? What do you think?
The repositories about such as thesis, dissertation, and such as that managed by university.
Yes, example, institutional, university is one of the example.
In UP, especially in Libary, there is thesis repository. Repository UP.
Okay.
It's repository UP.
Okay, so repository for UP, normally they hold collection such as thesis, research report, maybe exam bank question dan sebagainya. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that one belong to university as the institutional. But institutional repositories can be owned by corporate organization as well. Institutional repository for business, institutional repository for government agencies. Yang mana setiap daripada institusi ini dia mempunyai koleksi-koleksi yang unik. For example, in government agencies, they keep information such as maybe legal document, or it can be invoice and bill. It can be their user records or user profile file or information. And yes, institutional repositories is some kinds of databases a database, but specifically for organization. And organization dia pelbagai bidang, pelbagai background. Okay. Next, digital imaging technology. Digital imaging technology. Yang ini juga pelbagai. It can be digital camera, it can be history of scanner, heavy duty scanner. It can be what else? Any devices or machine that being used or applied in the process of digitization. Juga dia ada sejarah dia tersendiri. Okay, next, computer-based information storage and retrieval system. Ini tadi siapa yang sebut ni tadi berkenaan dengan ini. Retrieval system. Computer-based store and retrieval system. Kenapa ada computer-based? Because ada juga manual system for store and retrieval. Contohnya yang kita gunakan pada zaman sekolah dulu, you ada card catalog contohnya pada masa dulu, ataupun filing system. Filing system dia ada index, so that you can browse your index, identify the file name or identify the file content based on index yang you letak di dalam kabinet, contohnya di pejabat-pejabat kerajaan satu masa dulu. Okay, next, online databases and IRS. IRS is information retrieval system. Online databases and their retrieval system. Yang ini pun dia ada sejarah dia tersendiri. And next, digital storage technology. Digital storage technology, kita tahu dia ada magnetic storage media, optical storage media, flash memory devices, USB drive, and currently yang ini yang kita gunakan secara meluas sekarang iaitu cloud, cloud storage from the cloud computing itself. Juga ada sejarah dia yang tersendiri. And finally, microprocessor technology. Microprocessor technology. So ini adalah bidang-bidang yang sangat luas bila kita kata nak kaji tentang sejarah digital library. Maka you kena melihat kepada aspek-aspek ini. Very broad and wide topics. That's why as we mentioned in the previous slide, just now, dia kata apa? They came from several disciplines, and each of these discipline, they have their own evolutions or history. Okay, any questions? All right. Okay, let me proceed. 21st century skill framework. The need to enhance 21st century skill is compelling national imperative. Di Malaysia contohnya, kita ada beberapa perkara ini yang our government, our nation, they very they embed this 20th century skill in our school curriculum, and in fact in the university as well. And some they embed in our lifelong learning program for the community. So what is 21st century skill? Learning disposition that has been identified as being required for success in 21st century society and workplaces by educators, business leaders, academics, and governmental agencies. So 21st century skill ni ada tiga perkara. Tiga perkara, the main target or the main objective, they come with these three things. Number one, for global competitiveness. These skills are the new workforce requirement for maintaining national global competitiveness and ensuring each person or personal and professional success. Okay, now ask yourself, please ask yourself, what is your global competitiveness skill now? Ada tak? Boleh bantu. Faham ke tak faham? Okey, saya ulang sekali lagi. Ya. Untuk bersaing dengan negara-negara maju ataupun untuk menjadi negara maju, Malaysia telah mengetengahkan 21st Century Skill Framework. Ya. So di dalam ini kita kena lengkapkan, we must equip ourselves with the 21st century skill in order to compete in global or international level. Jadi apa agaknya you punya skill dalam konteks global competitiveness so that you may compete with others. Anybody? Ada tak? Ada? Tak ada? Tak faham?
Tak faham, sir.
Macam ni ke?
Ya.
Macam contohnya macam rajin, kerja lebih masa, bersedia macam tu ke?
Rajin lebih. Luar biasa jawapan tu. Okey, dia macam ni untuk membolehkan kita bersaing, kita kena ada extra skill. Ya. So, untuk bersaing abad ke-21 ini, kita kena ada extra skill. Apa extra skillnya? So, yang itu soalan saya. Ada extra skill ni ada dalam diri. Tak tahu. Okey, sekali lagi. Contohnya di sini. Competencies like critical thinking, global awareness, media literacy. These three things. What about critical thinking? You rasa you ada tak critical thinking? Ada? Tak ada?
Mungkin media literasi tu kot.
Saya tak ada, sir.
Ya? Media literacy.
Saya tak
Siapa
ada.
yang jawab tadi? Siapa jawab media literacy tadi?
Rabiza.
Okey, Rabiza, media literacy. Apa agaknya yang you tahu tentang media hari ini?
Kan sekarang ni kan banyak benda yang kena sebar berita-berita palsu macam tu kan. Kan kalau
Ah.
ikutkan kenalah cari daripada media yang dipercayai untuk
Ya.
dapatkan maklumat yang betul. Macam tu lah kot.
Okay, from trustworthy sources tetapi kena ingat media literasi ini juga berkaitan dengan the current trends. The current trend, the current news from our surrounding. Okay, kalau dekat Malaysia sekarang ni apa agaknya latest news?
COVID, PKB, sangat PKB.
COVID ni around the globe. Isu yang around the globe kan.
Darurat sir.
Darurat, bila masa ada darurat?
Politics lah.
Politics. Jadi kalau kita minta you kupas on that topic, you should know. Kenapa? Mungkin your explanation or your knowledge about this issue will help investor, foreign investor to invest in our country. Due to the information that you provide for them. Information apa? Information tentang tadi, perkara-perkara tadi contohnya. What about Nada? Nada, apa isu di Indonesia sekarang ni?
For the issue in Indonesia, the number one is still COVID-19, and the second one is about the regulation. I mean the new regulation held by
Jokowi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the new regulations about what? Yeah, I heard the news, yeah,
Yeah,
from him. So dia kata the new regulation akan menyusahkan rakyat bawahan kan. Actually,
yeah. It's called by Omnibus Law
hmm,
for um, pekerja.
okay. So undang-undang buruh ke macam mana?
But the latest thing is about banyak yang merugikan untuk buruh,
Buruh, rakyat biasa lah yang pekerja bawahan.
menguntungkan. Hmm,
Hmm. Okay.
gitu.
Ya, so jadi you kena tahu perkara-perkara begini ya. Untuk sekarang ini kita perlukan kompetensi sebegini. Ya, maknanya mengetahui keadaan semasa, your critical thinking, your decision making ya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. If 21st century skill are the new design specification for national and individual success, libraries must well positioned to respond to this need. Yeah. So no more conventional services. Yeah. No more library as a silent place to study. Yeah. Tapi we must equip and able to redesign or reposition the library services to meet these kinds of framework. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Digital revolution, another topics. Digital revolution is the shift from mechanical and analog electronic technology to digital electronic, which began anywhere from the late 1950s to the late 1970s with the adoptions and proliferations of digital computers and digital record keeping that continues to the present day. The digital revolution marks the beginnings of the information era. The digital revolution is also called the third industrial revolution. Yeah. In 2010 and beyond, we know that internet makes up more than 25% of the world population. And mobile communication has also become very important as nearly 70% of the world populations own mobile phones. And the connection between internet websites and mobile gadget has become a standards in communication. So ini yang kita ada pada hari ini. Ini yang mana kita ada kelas ODL. Kita ada siapa kat sini yang ada more than one gadget? More than one mobile gadget. Ada? Ada lagi yang masih menghadapi masalah itu. Tetapi sekarang ini kita di dalam industrial revolution, the fourth industrial revolution. For some country, such as Germany and Japan, mereka dah ada di dalam fifth industrial revolution. Just to highlight here, digital revolution, they play very important roles in shifting the digital humanities concept. Our digital humanities. Pernah dengar tak term ini, digital humanities? Siapa pernah dengar term ini, digital humanities? Zuhairi? Mana Zuhairi?
Saya.
Ya, so apa dia digital humanities?
Sorry.
Sempat Google lagi. Tak dapat? Agak-agak apa digital humanities?
Tentang disiplin of the humanity.
Discipline of humanities. Digital humanities itu bidang lah, satu bidang. Satu bidang apa? Ada yang lain? Azizah, Nur Azizah, boleh bantu?
Computing ataupun digital technology.
Computing or digital technology. Okay. Where is Yasmin? Nur Yasmin. What do you think? Ada? No idea?
No idea, sir.
No idea. Kenapa tak ada idea? Ngantuk.
Tak tahu sir.
Tapi tak dengar.
Tak dengar?
Betul sir, saya dengar sir rapping sekarang ni. Saya tengah rap.
Tengah rap?
Laju. Tak tahu line saya ke apa ke.
Pandai salahkan saya. Okay. Okay, apa dia humanities? What is humanities? Dia adalah satu bidang yang mengkaji bagaimana manusia ataupun sifat-sifat kemanusiaan, terutamanya dari segi bagaimana kita berkomunikasi ataupun bagaimana kita bersosialisasi. Socialization between, kita panggil socializations ataupun dia sebagai satu kajian, satu bidang kajian humanities. Bagaimana kita duduk dalam masyarakat, bagaimana kita bermasyarakat. So itu bermaksud humanities. But if we connect the term humanities with digital humanities, dia bukan satu bidang baru. Bidang ni dah bermula seawal tahun 80-an lagi. Digital humanities mean kita bersosialisasi just now, we interact but in a digital environment. In a digital environment. So, nowadays, kita yang dalam pandemik COVID-19 ni, kita banyak menggunakan digital humanities services or digital humanities concept. Secara, sebelum ni mungkin ada yang menolak. Ada yang menolak, they reject or they don't want to use, for example, e-commerce. They don't want to use electronic payment system to purchase goods from internet, from application. But nowadays, orang-orang kampung pun ramai yang dah tahu what is Lazada, what is Shopee. You all pun tahu, you all biasa kan?
Yes, sir.
So itulah maknanya sebelum ni mungkin you tak aware, you tahu tapi you never use. Dah biasa So itulah, itu contohnya bagaimana kita berevolusi, evolusi dengan teknologi ini. So we call this as digital humanities. Secara terpaksa kita gunakan teknologi ini. Uniknya, yang uniknya di Indonesia, di Bandung, especially Nanda mungkin boleh share, you boleh dapatkan macam-macam perkhidmatan through online, through mobile apps. Kalau apa tu Grab bukan sahaja kereta, you boleh dapatkan motosikal, you boleh dapatkan apa istilahnya Nanda, Gojek
Ojek sir.
Ya.
Yes, saya Gojek.
Ya, kemudian ada apa lagi? Massage service pun online juga kan? So you boleh book
online,
massage.
sir.
Online So itulah hakikat dia. Alright. And this is the industrial revolution, evolution, the evolution. Daripada first revolution, second, third, fourth, nowadays shifted from fourth to fifth revolution. So Malaysia masih lagi di peringkat keempat, tetapi sebahagian daripada international companies, they already shifted to fifth revolution. Okay, so this is the comparison between Libary in the 20th century and 21st century. This criteria will justify actually why we need to embark on digital library services. Okay, in 20th century, normally library they more on content. So library ini dia popular because of their physical collections or conventional collection. They more to content, which mean dia punya koleksi lah, and mostly tangible objects, and it's a one-way services. One-way services, you don't have user don't have any choice. Apa yang you dapat adalah apa yang focus on presentations and display of the tangible object or tangible information collections in the library. Act independently in the community, or learning outcome assume and implied. Learning outcome tu dah being objective or targeted. In the 21st century, libraries more to audience and content driven, and user needs or audience needs sometimes they're very complex and very unique. Complex and unique due to their personalized information. Kita panggil personalized information. What is personalized information? Each of us, we have a specific needs and specific kita panggil apa, requirement. We have our own requirement on types of information, length of the information, and banyak kriteria lain that very complex. To make things complex, tangibles and digital objects, dia lebih kompleks lagi. The combinations of tangible can be printed, but at the same time they need to provide digital information services. Digital information services. Kenapa? Sebab there is no more geographical barrier. No more geographical barrier. Okay, and then a multi-directional services bukan sahaja daripada library or the librarian or the information professional, but the user may also suggest or may also contribute to the developments of the library collections and the library itself. And it focuses on audience engagements, experience. And this issue, audience engagement experience ni kita panggil dia sebagai a customer driven concept. A customer driven concept, or apa yang berlaku di sini? Sarah tekan apa?
Tengah buat uji kaji dia.
Buat uji kaji. Disable please.
Bro.
Okay. Saya tekan je tadi, tak perasan. Alright. Let's continue. A customer driven or user driven bermaksud pengguna dia boleh mencadangkan bagaimanakah agaknya perkhidmatan yang patut diadakan, dijalankan. Bagaimana digital content yang perlu dibina, apa warnanya, apa maklumatnya, apa saiznya dan sebagainya. And acts in highly collaborative partnership. Few or many stakeholders involved in this process. From the information provider, the publisher, the author, user, system supplier, technology supplier dan sebagainya. They have a collaborative partnership. And this services normally embedded in the community. Contohnya, kita linkkan kita punya digital library dengan kemudahan government, kemudahan masyarakat. Ya, kita linkkan perkhidmatan kita dengan teknologi yang ada dalam perkhidmatan awam. And learning outcome purpose. Dia target, dia lebih kepada specific services for specific community. Contohnya, maklumat berkaitan dengan katakan pecinta alam sekitar dan sebagainya, dia very specific. Database ataupun digital library that you produce, dia very specific for these groups of community. Informations or digital collections about history, dia specific for history club contohnya. Dia very specific. Okay, specialized competency. Digital libraries provides an organized and structured access to information contents in a distributed environment and assist users in searching, evaluating, and utilizing resources irrespective of their formats. Digital library requires specialized staff, and we call this dia punya job tu ataupun dia punya jawatan tu, nama dia sebagai digital librarian. So apa agaknya step yang biasa ada, apa kompetensi yang ada? Number one, select. Digital resource must support information needs of the community. So as a digital librarian, you must know the selection process. You must know selection process, and contohnya kita ada banyak digital information, but which one is the most suitable for your community? Number two, organize. To organize digital content for the purpose of retrieval and to manage the collections. In our case, kita gunakan metadata system. We use a metadata system, and we use nowadays kita gunakan juga yang dipanggil sebagai corporate taxonomy, a knowledge taxonomy. Knowledge taxonomy. So itu yang digunakan untuk menyusun maklumat di dalam website. Number three, evaluates and interprets. Evaluates and interpret. The evaluations evaluations of digital library helps in finding its integrity, usability, and relevancy. Because of information available online from many sources, tadi ada siapa sebut tentang trustworthiness, validity and trustworthiness of information. Therefore, a digital librarian need to evaluate, need to conduct a study on the usability, integrity, and relevancy of the information to their. Number four, offer intellectual access. Offer intellectual access. They're more than providing just the information being displayed on the screen, but they can be more than that. You may connect your user with the author or with the publisher of the information. In fact, for some library, mereka boleh chat. They provide the chat room, they provide email so that their user can communicate with this publisher or author of the information. Number five, preserve integrity. Ensure the persistence over time of digital works. Preserve integrity. Kadang-kadang ada maklumat being copy paste or being plagiat from other sources. Especially in digital form, they're very simple copy paste process. Simple plagiat process. Jadi you yang perlu identify perkara ini. And finally, number six, readily and economically available for use by defined community or sets of community. Define community which means they're very specific, or set of community yang ada seperti ada di UiTM ini. Kita ada pelbagai fakulty dengan pelbagai background dan pelbagai kategori of user. So as long as we provide the service to each of these segment, then biasanya perkhidmatan tu akan berjaya lah, berjaya sampai ke sasaran. Okay, dimension for digital library. There are 4 dimension. Pertamanya, dia perlu ada community. Bila kita design digital library, they must reflect community dimension. Reflect apa? The social needs of the community, the political needs of the community, which address sometimes logical. Logical ini bermaksud bagaimana masyarakat itu dia evolve, dia berkembang untuk tujuan pendidikan ataupun untuk expand their knowledge, and finally they address the cultural issues need. So again, community ini dia datang dalam pelbagai aspek. Jadi digital library yang kita bangunkan, they should address this need. Okay, number 2, content. Represent all possible kinds of forms and genre of information, printed as well as digital. So digital library, dia mestilah ada content, they need to have a very rich content with various types of format, various form or types of information. Next, number 3, technology includes technical progress in computing, networking, information storage retrieval, multimedia, and interface design. So dimensi ini pun perlu ada bagi digital library. You need to study the computing technology. You need to know the networking capabilities. About their storage. Storage, the server, host ke, client ke, storage dalam bentuk apa, dalam bentuk cloud ke, dalam bentuk server ke, dan bagaimana retrieval, storage and retrieval process. What about multimedia collections and the interface, adakah interface sesuai untuk masyarakat. And finally, services includes present and future services, personalization, digital reference service, real-time question, real-time questions, answering, on-demand helps, information literacy, and user involvement mechanism. So perkhidmatan-perkhidmatan ini perlu juga diperincikan. Jadi sekali lagi saya ingin highlight di sini untuk membangunkan digital library, especially for your group project, you need to address these 4 issues. Community, siapa agaknya yang akan mendapat perkhidmatan daripada digital library yang dibangunkan. Number 2, digital content, the types, forms of your digital content, and then technology use. Technology use, ini banyak elemen dia, daripada hardware, software, network, and the graphical user interface, and types of information as well. And finally, services, which includes personalization services. Is there any digital reference services? Apa yang ada dalam tu, perkhidmatan yang lain, chat ataupun reference services dan sebagainya. So perkara-perkara ini perlu dilihat dalam projek nanti, sama ada konsep ataupun membangunkan prototype. Okay, this is just the example of New Zealand Digital Library. New Zealand Digital Library is actually a project, a project by students. Nanti boleh akses cari New Zealand Digital Library, and they use Greenstone. Greenstone to develop this project. Dan di sini ya, sekiranya ada yang nak explore Greenstone as your group project, you boleh download dan you boleh gunakan. When you share or you publish online, the information there will be available in this website, as part of their digital library. For example, di sini literature for Vietnam. Actually dia bukan produce di sini tetapi daripada project from Vietnam. But then dia share di website ini. Atas tu apa lagi ada New Orleans Disaster Oral History Project. Dia dokumentkan dan dia highlight di sini. Mungkin ada yang nak explore Greenstone as part of your group project, and saya recommend you untuk browse website ini untuk tengok apa yang mereka dah hasilkan. Okay, and this is another project by Cornell University Library di US. So ini bermula lebih awal lagi. Dan you tengok bidang-bidang ni sebenarnya dalam bidang sains. Dan di sini ada digital collection daripada pelbagai sumber yang disusun mengikut alphabetical order. You juga boleh lihat bagaimana contoh yang mereka menggunakan. And this is Sign Direct. Sign Direct. Sign Direct ni you boleh access. Currently Sign Direct adalah Q1 journal. Q1 journal, dia very highly ranked journal, peer review journal. Kalau kita lihat di sini dikatakan Sign Direct contains over 25% of the world science, technology and medicine information. 25%. So maknanya ada berapa tu? Dia ada banyak. Ada banyak. So kalau lihat di sini scientific, technical and medical peer review journal. Journal sahaja 2000. Over 59 million abstract, 7 million full text scientific journal articles, 6.75 million article in their historical archive collection. Setengah tu artikel ataupun bahan-bahan yang ditulis awal lagi pada tahun 1700 pernah disimpan tetapi sebagai archival collections. So ini bahan-bahan yang ada dalam Sign Direct. Dia berbayar, database ini berbayar, but luckily we at UiTM kita subscribe, UiTM subscribe Sign Direct ini as our digital library collection. So you boleh access juga nanti. Tapi untuk you punya project, saya tak minta you buat macam Sign Direct ni. Just a simple digital library with digital document. Okay, so I believe that's all for my lecture today. Ada apa-apa nak tanya?